This is Pod Populi, podcast for the people.
Welcome to Dateless and Delray, the show where love, connection, confidence, and community meet real-world insights. Our quote of the day: the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. That's Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and psychotherapist. You know, dating has always been a reflection of its time period, from blind dates arranged by friends to handwritten personals to advice columns for the lovelorn. And now, swipes, algorithms, and artificial intelligence. How we find love has always reflected how we live, communicate, and connect. And nowhere is that more evident than in matchmaking. Today, matchmaking looks very different from the way it did even like a decade ago. AI is shaping the dating landscape. Apps are driving people crazy. Tools like Keeper AI and other relationship-focused offerings are now using technology to connect people. And it's kind of scary and fun. We have to find out if it really works any better than real people. And I think not. I think people still need the human connection. You know, some statistics that I found interesting: nearly 40% of singles say dating apps leave them feeling overwhelmed or burned out. Matchmaking clients report higher satisfaction and commitment rates than app-only users. So matchmaking does work. And more than half of singles say they want strategy, coaching, and discernment, not just options. So you can't just throw a match at someone. It has to be the right match. Technology can introduce people, but intention, wisdom, and readiness are what help make love last. Which brings me to today's conversation and to a theme that I'm exploring deeply in my upcoming book. It's called What Are You Doing Saturday Night? From Dear Abby to Dateless and Delray, 75 years of dating, desire, and modern love. The book traces the evolution of romance from going steady, rotary phones, we all remember those, or some of us do anyway, and newspaper advice columns to ghosting apps, algorithms, and AI. So I am working on that as we speak, and I look forward to sharing more about it. As far as matchmaking, few people have lived and shaped the era of modern matchmaking more than today's guest. Rose Lambert is one of Palm Beach's most respected professional matchmakers with decades of experience helping accomplished men and women find lasting love through highly personalized, intentional matchmaking. She began her work in the 1990s, long before dating apps were popular. And what makes her especially compelling is her evolution, taking the timeless principles of elite matchmaking and applying them to a younger generation, navigating choice overload, dating fatigue, and emotional uncertainty. And we'll talk about that. But first, I want to welcome Rose Lambert to Dateless and Delray.
Thank you so much for having me, your guest.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to have you. And, you know, we've been talking a lot about the fact that you are in Palm Beach, the mecca of singledom and wealth and status, and all depicted in recent crazy reality shows like I'm just watching on Netflix, Members Only, and others. So tell us how you got started in this game and what brought you to South Florida and Palm Beach.
The wealthy people are usually the target because they have such a great life to offer and everybody wants to have piece of their life, you know. So I started from many years ago. I used to own a couple of gas stations. One of them was nearby Stony Brook University Hospital, and there was a lot of doctors. And then the other one was...
Wait, you owned...
gas station.
Gas station.
Gas station. You didn't hear wrong.
I thought you said that.
And then there's a lot of offices. Back in like 3 decades ago, there was no internet. There's no dating apps. And men used to ask me, "Is any beautiful ladies? Can you fix me up with somebody? I don't have time to go out to the bars."
So while are you pumping their gas while you're talking about
I was the owner. Yeah, I was the owner. They were like my good clients. Customers. So I was matching so many people. When you match them, whatever happens, and because you know them so much and you just put them together, whenever they have a problem, they come back to you too. So I become their counselor too.
It's a double-edged sword, as we say.
So even some of them years later, they find me. It's like whenever they have a problem, I guess they feel that closeness. They start with you, and then when something goes wrong and they come back to you, I'm like, no, there's no refunds. And,
Yes,
I was just doing it as a hobby. But when I came down of Palm Beach, and also I had spiritual awakening too. It's like, what's the most important thing is love, giving yourself to somebody. And so
how old were you, if I can ask, when you had your spiritual awakening?
In my 50s. I'm going to be almost 60.
You are? Well,
I'm a grandmother.
You're from Palm Beach, so you're supposed to look like that. For those of you who are just listening, she doesn't look it. She's gorgeous. Yeah. So
but when I came to Palm Beach, and then I realized people, yes, they are being targeted. There's a lot of women want to date these multimillionaires, billionaires, but it's not what they think. These men, they have plenty of women, but what they're looking for, it's like the etiquette, the class, and the society they have to bring in. They have their families. There's like some old money. There's a new money. Everywhere is like, it's very, very difficult. They have so many options today with the online. There's plenty of option, but it's got even more harder because when you're intuition, because people just put online whatever they think themselves, but with the intuition, when what the person says about themselves, and then also with me, my knowledge, what I know about them.
Right, because if you're a high net worth individual and you're going out there and trying to meet someone and worrying that they are only interested for your money, and it must be so difficult to have to be that type of person and looking for love.
Like back in days, there was this like a pedigree. It's like they weren't even like allowed to date outside of the certain families and the high class side. But today they're a lot more modern. They're a lot more accepting. But still, they have a society, and some of them is so high profile they cannot do online dating, and they cannot allow anybody to come in there. Some of them you cannot even have a picture in their house. It's like they don't want their privacy going out. Right. And it was preventing the woman recording and everything, writing a book about them.
Which,
and then there's like a TikTok and Instagram age.
Right, I'm sure there's lots of NDAs being signed in the dating world.
And then the Me Too movement is like that they could get accused for something they haven't done. So it's like we do sign a lot of NDAs and privacy because their privacy is important.
Okay. So I hear from your accent that you are not a New Yorker like most of Florida transplants. Where are you from, and what brought you to South Florida?
I was born in Istanbul, Turkey.
Turkey, oh, wow.
But I came to New York when I was 19. I didn't even speak English, and But I started working. I'm an entrepreneur. I did it. I had my daughter. I had gas stations. I created a ballroom and Latin and stage costumes. I was designing and getting it manufactured and then selling it to all the big entertainment companies.
Really?
So I became an entrepreneur, and then at the same time as a hobby, I was matching people. I was a very busy woman, and that's why I just say today to a woman, it's like they're holding off their career. They're not having children because they want to be successful. I say, look, I didn't even speak English. I didn't have a higher education. I survived. I did it. You girls could do it. Don't give up on having a children. Don't give up on having a family, So that's what I'm trying to motivate and inspire them. If I did it, they could do better.
Right, but not everyone looks like you, number one. But also, do you find that women today are more particular and everyone's red flags and non-negotiables get in the way of finding the right person?
I think too much of toxic advice and, it's like the feeding the narcissism in the people. We all do have. I mean, everybody has it, but there's a healthy level of narcissism and then there's a dangerous levels of them. And they're like, even the littlest thing, oh, did he drop his socks on the floor? Just leave him. It's like every little thing. I mean, did he, just cough, said, didn't say I'm sorry? Just leave him. He's rude. It's like, just keep bombarding with these advice, and some of those advice are very harmful. I think it's like we are supposed to give, and the relationship teaches us giving and sharing, and people are become very selfish and individual living. Is great. I know it's wonderful. You don't have to share anything. Back in days, people needed each other. Women needed men's support. Today we have financially independent, successful ladies, but still we desire to have a family. We want to have a child, and some of the girls are there unhappy now. They're in their 35, 45. They regret their decision, but they don't share it on the social media because nobody wants to share their regrets. They only want to share their vacation, how beautiful their life, and they don't want to show that side of it.
But what about the idea that people are too picky, that they need 6 feet tall, they need a net worth, they need, the certain car and the certain lifestyle and the golfer and the religion? I mean, if you have so many requirements, no wonder you're still single. Is that right?
That's a lot. And now what they doing is, and then also they still think men should hire a matchmaker, and fine. But every woman wants to date that 6 foot tall, 7-figure income, but 90% of the, that's like how many percent? It's like 10%, maybe less than a 10% in a society.
Right. I think 14% of men are over 6 feet or something.
And then the income, you put because it could be 6 foot, but he doesn't have the income. They don't want it. And then if you just remove from these, like the ones taken, there's not so many men. So all that man getting all this woman. It's like because he's not looking if he's accomplished, he's not looking for a rich woman. He's looking for a nice woman. So all income levels, all the women, every woman wants to date those. So these guys are tired. It's the best time to be the wealthy 6 foot tall man now.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They have all the girls, and then but the women still think men should hire a matchmaker. I'm like, girls, are you nuts? I have 3,000 women in my database. I only take like 4 clients for a year, men.
You only take 4 men clients a year
because it's a lot of work. So I have to interview so many women. But what I do is I get all the guys in my network. I say, join my database for free. Because it's like I want to offer extra, and then I take coaching clients and I do the introductions so more people could benefit.
So you do coaching, individual coaching?
I do group coaching because I was doing individual, but it was taking too much time. Now I just like to try to do it all, and then also from one of them story, other one could learn too. So we don't have to. I don't want to do too many hours. So I like to put all the girls together, weekly coaching, and they could learn from each other too. It's like because if one of them having a problem, and I also teach them how to become their own matchmaker.
Oh, become your own matchmaker, really? Can you share how we do that?
Because a lot of time it's like, like recognizing, what you're looking for. It's like they only focus on what they want from the relationship. And I teach them what you're bringing. Just recognize, what you're bringing. It's like, it's a negotiation. It's like a kind of like, when you open up a business, and because a lot of these girls are in business and they know how a business works. It's a partnership, and you're becoming a partner. And so, it doesn't have to, maybe you want a provider husband or a partner, but he's going to provide. But okay, what you're going to give, and if what his needs are, kind of learning how to be considerate, And then also, a lot of them, they don't know how to market themselves. I say it's like the matchmaker is like a kind of like, the real estate. It's kind of like I feel like I'm a real estate agent. I help them to have to market themselves, have to represent themselves.
It's so funny you say that, because I had this idea for a dating app called Real, and it was based on the real estate model, and it had listing sheets and current photos and, open house.
You
and
stage the house.
Right. And it doesn't need work. Does it have good bones? There were a lot of parallels.
And then I tell them, like, yes, you might think, like, for example, when a person might think it's their castle, they might think it's $1 million house, but if it's the real value is at $300,000, you can't sell that for $1 million. So that's right. Where we think about, it's like go over that list again, maybe, compromise a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right. Because you sometimes when, you look at, it doesn't have curb appeal, but then when you go inside and you see how comfortable it is, then you find it's
it's not house. Like, we got to love ourselves, of course. We got to be in a good place. Also, sometimes women are so like stressed out and they're just tired and they're like kind of rushing into getting that. That's the wrong time too. You got to be in a good place and you got to know what you're bringing and you got to know what you're looking for. Because if you're just looking for a 6 foot tall man and with a certain income, that's not. But how about the life goals and lifestyle and are you going to be
common values?
Common values,
yes, all
core
of that.
values. And now today it's like even if just the political views makes a huge difference.
Oh, politics is a huge issue that never existed before. That's a perfect example of the changes that I'm sure you've seen over the decades in dating. 20 years ago, we didn't really care if someone was a conservative or liberal or anything in between. So
today's an important topic and we have to ask.
Yes, and it's almost more important than religion or money in some ways in today's world.
Yeah.
So getting back to Palm Beach, so as I said, I've been watching members only. You tell me these ladies are your friends and they're really like this?
I actually posted with one of them, the Roslins, like we were at the party and then some of the other girls were there too. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So working with that caliber of people must have its own unique challenges.
They're beautiful. They're fun. And there's always some party going on. And it's wonderful.
Rosalind, isn't she on her 5th husband, if I'm not mistaken?
No,
one of them.
No, Rosalind's been actually.
Oh, she's the one that got outed from the party. She was excluded from a party, I think.
I haven't watched the show. I haven't watched the show.
Yeah.
I know the girls and, like the Gail is like one of my good friends too. It's like, and I know them all, but yeah, because of, we did have one fundraiser, and last time I saw them over there, but I didn't have a chance to watch Sort of Girls.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's quite quite interesting, the fact that you're in that world. So, but do you work with quote regular people just in Boca Delray or anywhere in between that are looking for just a nice guy or a nice woman?
I charge a lot, so because I say I just only take 4 men. It's like
that's
so
a good
financially.
Yes. And you don't charge the women.
I don't charge the women. I just take them as a coaching client, and I have a club, and then I introduce them for free of charge, but they have to be club member. So they get coaching, and then I get to know their personality. So because if you don't know somebody, you cannot market them. You cannot, how I match people? I match people I know. It's just putting 2 profiles together. It's what's the difference than online dating? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I like to get to know. It's like, it's good for me if they're in the club and if I'm meeting them weekly, I don't take too many people. So each person I will have time to get to know. And so this way I am learning about her, what makes her happy and what's her, problem areas and what type of man will be great for her. So when I meet somebody like that, or if I know someone and I'm like, okay, I know somebody, it's like, that's how it works. Sometimes also there's a certain type of woman that this very wealthy men are looking for. I'm always looking out, even though I don't have the client at that time, because they have this type, they're like this high value woman. it's like I just like keep eye on it. And then when I got the client, I'm like, okay, I have. It's like when I sign up a client, I usually have 3 women in my mind. And
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I do use my, it's like on my social media and or I go to these events, fundraisers. I'm always like snooping around. Sometimes I go to them and I say, "Are you married?" Like these days, like I said, no, don't worry, I'm not hitting on you. I'm not gay.
It's funny.
I'm a matchmaker.
Right. This art imitating life. The movie The Materialist with Dakota. What's her name?
Dakota
Johnson. Yeah, she would do that. Come up to people as a matchmaker and say, "Are you single?" Yeah. So you must have an eye for what you're looking for, the type. Yeah.
And then also I with my club members too, I say it's like become a recruiter. I teach them how to approach, and I say it's like if you like the guy, there's a good way to conversation starters. A lot of people when they become single, they try to become a matchmaker.
Right.
And then later on they quit, or because if you want to really make money, you don't become a matchmaker. I was an entrepreneur, because I'm kind of like. I was retired and I came back raising money for the great cause and hanging out with the beautiful people. And that's why I'm doing. But as a business, it's not the type of business you could, because it's very time consuming, you need to get to know your clients.
Right.
And you have to do a lot of interviews, because if you just put 2 profiles together and what they put in the information, it will fail. And then I do a lot of coaching too. Even after you introduce the people, that when the newness starts fading away, that's the time I do coach a lot, my couples. And when they're trying to find the problems to break up, I put it back together.
Oh, wow. So you're a therapist
I teach them how to stay together, problem solve, because people don't know problem solving anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Because replacing one another, it's easier than working through their problems and then misunderstanding one another. People jumping into a conclusion. Like, for example, just this recent couple I put it together. She told him, "You might be a little older for me," but because he was looking for somebody a little older, she's like little younger than him. But he was start thinking, but she was meant because he was looking for a little older. She wants to level up to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he kind of misunderstood that. It's like, just keep fixing those misunderstandings. And because sometimes men doesn't just, they don't want drama. They just don't say what they thought about it, and they just move on.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody, back in days, your friends fix you, your relatives fix you. It's like, that's how I did it, and that's how I'm doing, like the old-fashioned way.
So old-fashioned fix-ups.
Yeah, the matchmaker in the village, I still do it that way. So I like to keep friendship. It's like everybody I match, and we become like friends, and that's how it is. And that's why it's working, because that's why I don't like to take too many clients. If I keep my price low and have too many clients, I can't build that relationship. Right. I would not able to know. I cannot spend that much time. Then it won't not work.
Right. So you're not going to be someone that our listeners could engage in, in a large group, but the skills that you teach are relevant to everyone, right?
But I do have a big network. I graduate also. Yes, I was matching, but when I wanted to turn into a business, I said, okay, I was matching, but I don't know the business side of this, how this works. Right. So I went to a Global Love Academy and I got graduated from there. And everybody who graduated from there, we are over 1,000 matchmakers. We network. So sometime other day, yes. Nice gentleman called me and he didn't have the $50,000 to pay me. So I said, I got his information and I'm passing on to other matchmaker.
Right. Yeah. I've heard of the Global Love Academy.
Yes.
I think there's a couple, Fast Pass to Love, Jennifer Fast, and they do Jewish matchmaking.
Yeah, we're a big group, and we have one conference in London, one in New York. We meet, and then we collaborate. We have a kind of, like how the match realtors do. They have MSL listing. It's like we help one another too. The matching each other's clients also.
So cool.
So it is cool. We help one another. We don't compete with each other.
Right.
We help one another. So it's like when you hire one matchmaker, you're hiring 1,000 matchmakers.
That's so good, because the odds of your soulmate being within a 10-mile radius are, I'm sure, a lot lower than if you can leverage the efforts of many people.
Especially when we are like dealing with the high-end client, they do travel, like they're in the summertime in Hamptons and, Aspen and the London, Paris, Palm Beach, Miami. So we need to collaborate because there's not too many that type of, that caliber people. And we know it's like we have that type of, singles in our database. So we collaborate with one another.
Right.
And then we have different levels too. It's like, for example, some matchmakers, they strictly do the Jewish matchmaking.
Right.
And, it's like, there's a matchmaker for all, like for Christian matchmaker.
Right. So niches or generalists or and then the higher end.
Spiritual matchmacher. Yeah.
Right.
Luxury matchmaker.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you are spiritual, as an example, you're not going to be good with someone who's an atheist or, devout Christian, perhaps, that type of thing. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'd love to talk more about how your matchmaking skills can be relevant to real people, regular people, and a little bit about what you shared with me in terms of your concerns for younger people and the unique challenges they're facing. Yes. So we'll be right back. Okay. Stay with us. And we're back with Rose Lambert, exploring how matchmaking has evolved and why younger daters are struggling more than ever. I've actually read that young men are having less sex. Is that true? Than the previous generation at their age? And what have you observed and what are you going to do about it?
The problem is like back in days, the younger people, it was the American dream. Today, there's that American dream going farther and farther. And now the AI replacing a lot of jobs too. When the boys are coming out of college, they cannot get a girlfriend because the girls are start dating older men because this social media, it's like, they want to find things. They want men to pay for stuff. Right. So they start dating older. So many young men, when the research has been done, they for a long time they don't even have a girlfriend or having sex, and so they're very frustrated. It's a big problem, and the birth rates are dropping. But I think this has been planned. Even the Barbie movie I watched. It's like the Barbie and Ken not together anymore. It's like,
Right. Okay. So that's indicative of cultural
I think it's
trend.
Like, yes, we were, there's like sometimes conspiracy things. It's like, too many people. They want the less people on the earth. And it's possible. Yes, maybe we don't need like 8 billion people in the world. But I think, how they trying to lower this population. They're doing a great job.
Right. Survival of the fittest takes on a whole new meaning.
It's going to be like a lot harder for young people the girls are more ambitious, and then especially with the woman, the less statistics that done better at school. Some of the girls are making a lot more money than the boys are making.
Interesting.
And then the girls, the hypergamy, they don't want to date men has less. So that's causing other problem too. Men are like content, you give them their, video games, sports, football, and, it's like roof over their head, and not all of them not that ambitious. But when they're together, if they have a partner, I tell young girls, it's like, find him young and mold it.
Mold him, yes.
Make it together instead of just keep chasing these older guys, especially in Miami. And we do see it, these, like the rich man has 20 girlfriends. He could afford it, and he's not going to marry all that 20. And, it's like the youth is getting fade away too. It's like, how about just work with the guy, get rich together? Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't get married to a rich man, and, it's like I worked, and and then men will value and appreciate you more, and then you will become his equal partner when he has the money. When the man already has the money, you're going to sign up along prenups.
Right.
And then now it's like they're trying to change the laws too. It's like, it's not going to be, what he made, you're going to take half of it. Right. So I do say it's like, when you're coming out, you start dating when you're in college, come out being a couple and work together.
That's good advice. Don't try to get someone who's already there, but get there together. I feel like that's what I did in my early marriage in the early 80s. I met my ex the first day of work at CNN, and we built our life together, and, didn't work out after 37 years, but we had some good years before that. And
it's okay I taken care of my household for my first marriage was 24 years. I was the sole provider. It's nothing wrong with that. And I got a beautiful daughter out of it. And because even he wasn't a good provider financially, it was good to have in our lives being a father figure when I was traveling internationally, working mother, because there was like already kids using drugs, and my daughter didn't use drugs and it's the only child, God forbid. I did see so many kids got wasted away and got hooked on drugs. And I think, thank God, I had my ex there, and he was like watching where she go, giving her rides, and having two parents help, especially, it was mine was daughter, but especially raising boys as a single mother, I see it's really hard. So I do believe we think the man, it's like if he doesn't provide, there's a lot of stay-home dads now.
Right.
And I do know some ladies are the sole provider, just like how I was, and they're having children, men staying home taking care of. And, I do believe partnership. And then also when down the road, he will respect you more. You will have, you going through life together, growing together.
Right.
But when he's the provider, there's always that the relationships are kind of not equal,
Right. It's a slippery slope, as they say, because you want the man to be
respect you,
but also to be a masculine and in some ways dominant in certain areas, and then in other ways. Money.
Sometimes they think it's if he doesn't have the money, I cannot respect him. He is not the provider. No, he could be a provider still, could do a lot of things.
Yep.
And, because it's not just about I was a good financial earner, but it doesn't just taking care of everything, just having the finances. You still need the father figure sometimes. I mean, sometimes the ladies young ladies could not agree. But now, from that marriage, I have almost going to be six, grandchildren.
6 grandchildren. Yeah. That's amazing.
I mean, just one daughter. But, when I'm looking back, that was the greatest accomplishment, because money, business, it just fades away. It's like when you have it, it's not that important anymore. But the family is really important. That grandkids, and, it's just, you can't put a price on that.
Right, totally. So getting back to young people, I had a guest, Joshua Shea, on a few weeks ago, and he was talking about porn addiction and the effect of that on young men specifically. So the technology has really played into this problem, hasn't it?
And then we do see around the world a lot of violence with the young boys, and because they're frustrated. And then when the man is young, go frustrated, like a lot of porn addiction, and then also school shootings too.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of horrible things. It's like because there's no love. Sometimes those kids are even, parents are too busy trying to provide, and they don't receive love. And then if they don't have the money, cool clothes, maybe at school, they're not building friendship. What's happening? They're pushing to isolation. What the isolation does is mentally damaging.
Right, and the social media, the Snapchats and things where they're exposed to so much so young, and it can't be good for their brains and their development.
It's and then I forgot what's the name of this, the with the girls they teaching now it's like OnlyFans or something like that. The woman is displaying her body, and I mean, come on, it's it's just like the easy way out instead of. But I say it's how about two of you? Find a place, work together instead of one person. Is expensive. Maybe you can't get out of the parents' house, but if two people work and you could make it together, And I do think that's better than, selling your body to so many people.
Right, to subscribers on OnlyFans. Yeah, it is crazy what people will pay for and then what people will do for money. And I guess it's universal in some ways, but it's pretty
I am also
shocking.
spiritual, and I think something going to happen. I do predict, because there's a lot of people spiritually awakening. That means what's the awakening? It's like they start seeing signs and then they start having downloads. And I'm thinking it's like, why all these people are awakening? And when after it happened to me, I realized there was a lot more people. And because I think people just finding excuses for the churches and religion, and maybe with the spirituality, because spirituality respects all the religions and tries to understand but believes in some higher being. And I do believe in the higher being. It's like I don't belong to any religion, but there is a higher being. And, we have to believe something. We got to be saying, it's like, okay, this is not cool. This is not good. Everything cannot, do you know what I mean? There's the woman's body was secret, and he didn't share with the men, without commitment. Today, I do hear sometimes there's more hookup lines than more hookup apps than dating apps.
Wow. So, more hookup apps and dating apps. That's kind of crazy.
These girls are going to bed without even going to any dinner or anything like that, straight to bedroom. And I do hear this all the time. And,
yeah, and this is a younger demographic.
Yeah. And I mean,
sad, really.
It is sad. And then body count matters because you lose that. With the girls, we are more emotional, and that you lose that, and then they crying. It's like, oh, why can't I fall in love? Because
you've kind of diluted the value of sex and intimacy, and so many guests talk about all the chemicals that sex, and then
releases. The energy vibrations are mixing. They just don't know a lot of things. They don't know that spiritual secret knowledge behind it. Each connection, every person we're connected, we have intimacy with, we do have bonds, and we're sharing energy, and they just don't know that. And then if you sleep with so many person and so many energies, and then they get depressed, confused, and a lot of things going wrong, and then they're off balance because their energies all got mixed up.
Yeah,
it's like they do need some kind of knowledge, and then today also it's like one good thing is if they're searching, there is no secret knowledge. Everything is out there if they're searching.
Right, but they have to be aware, and they have to want to do things differently.
If they want to grow, if they want to learn, there's no secret knowledge, and there's no secret. It's like they could go on YouTube. There's everything, all the books and everything. If they're searching, they could find. Some people they say, "Oh, I don't believe in creator." I said, because you haven't searched. Because if you search, it's not that hard to find.
Right. Well, interesting, really interesting. So we're going to take another quick break, but before we go, a word from our sponsor, and that is me. I'm a realtor with LPT Realty, and this is my first time talking about it in a way that on the podcast that is more than just a passing mention. And we talked about the parallels between matchmaking and real estate. Yes. But I do work with buyers, sellers, and investors, and some of the skills that I have in my career of storytelling and trying to match people up with what they dream of, very relevant in real estate. So I'd love to talk to anyone who is interested in real estate. There are 40,000 real estate agents in Palm Beach County, as I understand it. So I don't expect to be the top of the heap, but sometimes you find someone just like a matchmaker. It has to be connection. And that's kind of what I talk about as a real estate agent. So
and then the more you're in the area, the type of client and the type of people looking for, and you have that that network too. It's like, yeah, I'm like kind of more like a South Florida matchmaker. And then whenever from other places they're looking for, it's like they call me because, I'm the South Florida matchmaker for the high-end matchmaking.
Right. And yes, and I'd like to be the high-end real estate agent for the country clubs and golf communities. So we have that in common.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're going to take one more break, as I said, and when we come back, let's talk a little bit about the specific things that you'd like to do to help solve some of these matchmaking challenges.
Awesome.
We'll be back. And we're back with Rose Lambert talking about preparation, self-worth, and why finding love isn't just about luck. It's about alignment.
Strategy, making plans. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you talk a little about a couple of things? What you would like to do perhaps to help solve the young person's problem, and then some advice from your matchmaking that anyone in a relationship or in the dating world might be able to implement.
Okay. For young people, I'm actually in processing of starting a nonprofit to kind of educate them because the first thing they complain is they don't have the finances and they don't know how to make money. They're coming out of college and sometimes they just don't know what to do. And now the AI taking over a lot of jobs and these young people are confused. But being an entrepreneur, I want to be able to teach them, you could make something. It's like, because if you want it, there is a way. So, I turned my hobbies into work, even my drawing. I didn't go to designing schools, but I did design ballroom gowns because I used to love drawing and those beautiful gowns. And my mother used to say, back in days in Turkey, girls used to run away from home to be a movie star.
Right.
And sometimes they didn't make it and then they end up being on the streetwalkers. And my mother used to say, it's like, you're going to be a one day very famous movie star or you're going to be a streetwalker. Because I was drawing these, fancy gowns. That's the singers and actors.
For either career choice.
But I end up designing those and becoming, the designer. But later on, I use that and I turn into money and providing for my family. I'm sure every young people, when they start searching, and then I could teach them how to, start up their business. And there's like so many ways of opening business and starting your own business. And then also we go to the how to help people to become their own matchmaker. I tell them, just start dreaming of having somebody in your life. Because most of the time, people just very happy and just figure out what you really want, especially people who's older and second time around in their 40s, 50s, 60s.
And beyond, yes.
And beyond. They're so happy, content. Their life is wonderful. And they just don't want anybody under the same roof.
Right.
But they say they looking for a match and they're serious about it. But that means they want to go on vacation together. They want to, once a week, they want to go out to dinner.
Right.
And just they be each other's companion, but they don't want to live together. I do have even couples got married, they have two different homes.
Right. Living apart together, LAT. We've talked about that on the show, and it's a real thing.
Yeah. And I say, it's like, make sure, you just ask for what you want. Like sometimes they're coming to me, they say they're serious, but after talking to them, they just don't want to be like living under the same. They just want, I say, it's like kind of in our ways, we used to call that friends with benefits. Right.
Well, but they're in committed relationships, but they want to do, they don't want someone else's laundry and their stuff in their space. They want their own space.
Say, figure out, because there's somebody for everybody. Seriously.
There's a lid for every pot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so this way you could negotiate and you could go out, look for what you're looking for. And then also for the girls, I say in the morning, just jump in the shower, put on your makeup and be ready like you're going to meet them any minute. And because sometimes... like you could just go on the supermarket and bump into them. It's like Whole Foods become like a nice place to meet.
We always say that, you're not going to meet your soulmate in the produce section of Whole Foods, but you say be ready in case you do.
Be ready. And then because you have that self-confidence, and then also when you're on dating apps, and then if the man wants to go on a video chat, or this way you could avoid the coffee dates too. Most of the time men are asking for a coffee date because they don't want to end up 2 hours sitting and paying for expensive dinner if just in case woman doesn't turn out to be how she looks on her pictures.
Right. I've heard both sides of the coffee date. Either some say women should never accept a coffee date. It shows that he's not invested and doesn't care.
That's why I say do the video chat. I said, let's jump on a video call. And then if he's still asking for a coffee date, don't go.
If he's seen you and talked to you, and he's still not that enamored.
If still not sure, he's cheap.
Yeah.
So, but the only way to avoid that is like, so you'd give him a pic, because a lot of women are editing their pictures, and I swear they're in the picture, they look like their daughters,
right?
You know, so they don't look like 60-year-old woman, they look like 30-year-old. So, I mean, some women they really look like a 30-year-old with all the plastic surgery, and
especially those Palm Beach ladies.
Yes,
they do.
Fabulous. You cannot guess people's age anymore, and that's why it's like, I'm like, when somebody's like, "How old do you think I'm?" I says, "I don't know. I really don't know," because men too. Yep. Like especially in Palm Beach, even men age like a fine wine. Sometimes when I say to my clients, they say, "Oh, I said, no. This is Palm Beach aging." You know, it's like
that's right. It's
take off 20 years.
The air is different in Palm Beach, but we do have to change our approach to aging and our preconceived ideas, because 60 and 70 even are not what they used to be. And
I have like 75-year-old client, but you would not think he's more than 55-year-old, 60-year-old. It's like he's playing tennis, he's active, and like he can't date age appropriate because a woman cannot keep up with them. He's so active.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. On the show Members Only, the reality show in Palm Beach, they had two ladies playing pickleball, but they looked so fabulous that their outfits had to be $1,000. Not like when I play pickleball in my, shorts and a T-shirt. So it's a different world, no doubt.
You have to take care of yourself. I think it's like when you're there, it's like, yes, when I first came in, it was like kind of different. First, I actually kind of resisted. And then later, I kind of like it. And now I'm like, oh, it's just other day,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like nice work if you can get it. Why not?
Everywhere is different. I was in Long Island. I know the Long Island, like the Hamptons. And then I lived in Miami for 5 years. And then from Miami, I came to Palm Beach. And everywhere style changes too. It's like in Miami, the dresses are like kind of like size of the napkins. And you feel like really old. And especially when you're after 50 in Miami, you will feel like, oh my God. And my ex-husband used to say, it's like when coming to Miami, it's like, I don't feel like this is like America. I'm kind of like feeling like I'm like outside of somewhere. It's like some Latin country or something, because it's like all people from all different nationalities, a melting pot over there.
Sure, and Miami certainly is like that.
If you don't speak Spanish, it's like, you're just really hard to, make friends.
Right. Interesting. So if I can ask, so you mentioned your ex, how long have you been divorced, and are you amicable?
My first marriage was 24 years. That was a horrible, it's like he was kind of like narcissist. He was like with the Muslim beliefs. He grew up in Turkey. He didn't believe getting divorced. He used to say, you come with the wedding, you go out with the funeral. There's no divorce.
Oh, that would have been good to know before you tied the knot.
But that was like, I was 17 years old when I met him. But after my divorce from him, and I dated all, like, I dated multimillionaires, billionaires, and everybody, because I was matching people too. It's like, and then I hired a matchmaker too, because I knew people in New York, but I didn't know outside.
Oh, so that's smart. The matchmaker's matchmaker. Okay.
Yeah, I hired a matchmaker too. It's like, so I dated all, and then I turned around and married my chiropractor. He didn't have money, but when we were married, and I helped him with his business, and he grew. When we got divorced, he had a lot more money then, but we signed up a prenup. Everybody said, oh, just protect yourself, sign up a prenup. So I didn't force it. If I forced it, I would, but no, it's like we had a good time because of my spiritual awakening kind of was a part of it. Like I need to be on my own. And because when you become spiritual, you need to spend more time into more learning, and more you learn and you realize and you don't know nothing. And then when I look at the people, it's like, like when you see the ants, like they're so busy and they think it's like all the humans are like that. And we have so much more outside of us, outside of what we know. And the more you start learning those. And then I do the matchmaking too, because I learn how important it is. And so that's yes.
Very interesting. You don't often hear about spiritual informing a business decisions, but it sounds like it does.
Everybody goes into teaching, but there's so many spiritual teachers, and but the love is the main thing. The God is love. The Creator is love. So, and then for the person to create that love energy, you can't, you got to fall in love to do that. And and then that was something I did as a hobby. And I said, I thought maybe Source was, Creator was teaching me, molding me to do this. So I do enjoy doing it. And now I want to help the younger people too. I feel like, it's a kind of like not everybody lucky enough that when they get awakened could go move to India and leave the Western world. I have my grandchildren, I have my friends. I consider myself like a kind of modern day monk.
It's like modern day monk. In Chanel. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, but I do choose to celebrate it because, I don't have time, and like my time is like so. You spend so much time meditating, learning, and helping people, and so. It's like you need to have time to give to somebody.
Right. So if someone wanted to work with you, because obviously when they hear you, they're going to be very inspired and would want, but if they're not a billionaire or a Palm Beach lady, can they work with you in some way? And how do they connect with you?
Yeah, because my clients, like, they're open to dating from all backgrounds. It's like they're not looking for a rich woman. They're looking for a nice woman, classy, elegant woman. So they're open. And then also we do have coaching. And, I have a teacher, nurse, and, all backgrounds, from that group. It's not that expensive because it's coaching. It's not my expensive service is like VIP service, and that's like I spend the most time and interview a lot of people. And also for the men, if they want to hire me, if I'm too expensive for them, I do have other matchmakers. Plus, any of our girls in our club, we do free matchmaking too. I do take them as a client or free database member because we have so many ladies members, and we introduce with them. I give free database membership.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there are lots of options. So what's the best way for them to reach you?
They could just schedule a consultation, roselambertmatchmaker.com, or just Google and find me on social media and schedule a consultation. I will explain. After I listening their situation, I just advise them whatever we could do for them.
Right.
I mean, we even have free services. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. You from Palm Beach to nonprofit, you really run the gamut, which is so interesting.
That's what I like about Palm Beach. It's like in Palm Beach, a lot of people a lot in the giving, and a lot of for example, I'm involved with the Cancer Alliance, raising money to help cancer patients when they are trying to get better. They don't have to worry about their rent, the food, and necessary things. And so they could focus on healing. Can you imagine? You're dealing with the cancer and then you're coming home and your electric might go out and, you couldn't, your car might be taken away. And so they could focus on people so giving and nice. And so that's what I like about them.
Yeah, in fact, on the show, which obviously I'm a fan, one of the ladies said her whole entree into Palm Beach was around nonprofits and doing fundraisers and meeting people that way.
Yeah, I donate, I take it whatever I need to pay the expenses, cover the expenses. If anything left, I donate it to, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's what my purpose. So after when you learn the truth, there's no, we shouldn't be hoarding money. We should be sharing. Can you imagine if everybody, took much as they need and the rest of them they shared, we wouldn't have any person poor. And then when people have everything they want and people nice to each other, we would not have crime. And the world would have been so much better place.
Right. That's a very optimistic aspiration. Some billionaires are very altruistic, the Bill Gates of the world, and have foundations, and
They talk about all the conspiracies, but they don't talk about all the good things these billionaires doing. And there's so many of them, they donate so much money, and then they give a lot, and they do help a lot of causes. But that doesn't make the good news. So
we could go on about conspiracy theories and a
that
lot of
sells,
areas.
But the good news, it's like, oh, so and so, it's like donated this one. Oh, that's like, oh, that has it. It's like not important. Could have given more, could have done more.
Right.
But we do need rich people. It's like, because when you don't have the rich people in the world, you cannot be the most powerful country. You cannot be the world's leader. So if you're not the world's leader, then, it's like, if those countries doesn't like you, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? It's like, we need those people. And
wealthy people. You just maybe don't need them all running the country. So that's the question.
I mean, like some of the young people, they think it's like socialism and communism great. I said, like, you guys should go to Cuba and see how poor people are. It's like, because even in the communism, there's a rich is still rich. Because when Russia changed, there was so many billionaire came out. I thought that was communist. Everybody was equal. How come some people were billionaires and some people were poor?
Very interesting. Yep. So we have to wrap up. This has been so much fun talking to you. If you had one piece of advice for people out there dating in almost 2026, it will be 2026 when this airs, what would you say to them?
Stop looking for what's wrong. Just try to look for what's good in that person. And, because when you look for, let's say you're going to buy a new car, what you're looking for, things you like, right? But if you start looking for a scratch and, what I mean, it's like, you're going to find it. I say just focus on good, and on whatever you focus, that's what you're going to find. And a lot of people focusing on, oh, this person going to use me, this person not going to do that. And also whatever we believe, we're creating our truth. So, so whatever you believe, that's what you receive. Start believing there's a good, there's a person you're looking for, it's out there. And then you could create your own, actually, we do create our own reality, and people got to be better dreamers.
Oh, I love that. Better dreamers. So accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to Mr. In Between, and manifest your own
and don't be
destiny.
Scared from the silence. We are constantly we want to be busy, constant instant gratification, constant entertainment. It's good to take little bit time off to listen your own thoughts, and instead of getting influenced by social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, just focus on your own goals and start dreaming, start creating your own dream. Because I'm telling you, because with being the spiritual awakened too, we do create our own reality. And that's how I did it. Being an immigrant woman, nobody's helping. And how do you think I just got everything? I'm a good dreamer.
Yes, and amazingly successful, and a great and inspiring story. So
it's like even though with the America's being, it's like that American dream. Like if you can't dream, you can't receive. It's like how America was built with the dream.
Yep, and you've lived it, and you think it still exists.
Yep. But we forgot how to dream because we're too busy just constantly watching and constantly getting that toxic information in and negativity, and we just forgot to have to focus on our own thoughts and creating that beautiful dream for ourselves.
Okay. Well, Rose Lambert, thank you so much for being here. This has been such a fun conversation. Really appreciate you sharing your wisdom, your history, and your vision for matchmaking, and also for being a better person and being a more enlightened person in the world. Your work reminds us that love isn't a lottery. It's a combination of intention, readiness, clarity, and courage. So again, if you want to reach Rose, you can reach her at roselambertmatchmaker.com or on her social media. She's very active in social. And if today's episode helped you, I hope that you will share it with a friend. You can email me at susan@datelessanddelray.com, or susan.shore@lptrealty.com if you suddenly need a home. And if today's episode resonated, also, I hope that you will watch for my upcoming book, What Are You Doing Saturday Night? In the meantime, stay happy, stay open to love, and thanks for being here. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure meeting you, and it was my pleasure to be your guest.
Thank you. We'll see everyone next time.